Hello, this is Thomas, and we have our first game. The first game I played at Wizards Well with Mono Green or maybe Abzan ramp, Eldrazi ramp, I'd say. So, this is against a Necrotic Ooze combo deck, which is Mono Black. This deck tries to win the game with the combo of Necrotic Ooze, Walking Ballista or Triskelion, and Phyrexian Devourer. The combo is very strong once enabled because you cannot disrupt it, cannot interrupt it. It goes something like turn 4 or 5, maybe even later, but it's very good even later because there's just nothing you can do to disrupt the combo besides like countering Necrotic Ooze or the animation spell which is targeting Necrotic Ooze. And those three creatures are being put into the playset neatly by Buried Alive. So it's mostly a 2-card combo of Buried Alive plus any reanimation spell, which allows you to win the game on the spot. So this deck here is CDC as a tutoring option for the late game, some lands, nothing too explosive as far as I have seen. I have Sakura Tribe Elder, I have some lands, and yeah, well, here's my 1-drop. I have an Fintorn Elf, which is generally your desired start, starting on 1 against only 2 lands, so I like my chances here, but you never know. The black deck could do something like Dark Ritual into Buried Alive reanimation. It's not very likely, but it could happen, so you're always in a little bit of fear. I have Sakura Tribe Elder here, but I think I do not have a land, so that is kind of a rough start. I'm holding Reality Smasher Expedition Map. Let's see. Okay, I just passed the turn here. Obviously not optimal, but I'm doing fine. I'm getting Collective Brutality here, and the Phyrexian Devourer is the discard outlet, or is the discarded card of my opponent. He's taking Green Sun Zenith because it's, well, the only legal target. So, end of turn, I'm cracking the Sakura Tribe Elder. Fintorn Elf now dead. It's looking a little bit rough. Next turn I could either deploy Deathrite Shaman and Expedition Map or Rofellos. Now, if I top deck a land, I think playing Lotus Cobra, land, Rofellos would be very explosive. We'll see. There's an Oath of Nissa trying to hit another land. Land plus Rofellos would be very good here, which happens to be the case. Next turn this gives me 6 mana, which is potentially means I could crack Expedition Map for a colorless land to play for something like Ancient Tomb to play Reality Smasher, or I could use it to get a Wasteland and deploy Lotus Cobra and Deathrite Shaman. So the opponent draws Expedition Map, no land. So this is kind of a rough spot for him, because I threaten to Wasteland his Urborg, so it doesn't get into the game. I think I remember I drew City of Traders right here, which is pretty good. I can drop Cobra, City of Traders, net a mana from the Cobra, plus the remaining forest is 2 mana, tap the city is 4 mana, plus tap Rofellos is 7 mana, which means I can play out my whole hand here. Kind of leaves me a little bit vulnerable to a Toxic Deluge or something like a accelerated out Damnation with a Dark Ritual. But I think it's very good nonetheless. Our opponent has the option of cracking Expedition Map for Lake of the Dead. Lake of the Dead would single-handedly enable 4 mana for him. So if he has a sweeper, I'm kind of looking dumb. But even then, I do have Expedition Maps still on the battlefield, which can then wasteland his Lake of the Dead. So I figure it's not too bad because I have 3 lands in play at this should this situation arise, and have very much live top decks while he is possibly still struggling to find a land. So I go all in here. Lotus Cobra, net a mana. Tap it for 2, 3 mana, 4 mana, 3 mana, 6 mana, 1 floating, non-floating. Here's an attack, and then as a post-combat Expedition Map. Well, I think I'm in good shape here. I think I should have this game locked up. We see what happens. Basically only Dark Ritual into the combo or a sweeper can prolong this game from this point on. Opponent's in the tank. I mean, he's not dead next turn, but Deathbright Shaman becomes active, which means his Devourer will be eaten out of the grave, and from there on he has a very hard time winning. He has some Planeswalker stuff, something like, I don't know, Liliana, Obnixilis, and so on. Maybe even Ugin, I don't know, depends how much acceleration he plays and if his list can support it. But there are some ways to win the game for the black player without the combo, but it's very hard. Okay, so he doesn't have the sweeper, and that was game 1.